Good morning and welcome to this morning's Facebook Live. I did it again. I had 10 minutes to spare, so I started to do something and then realised I didn't really have any time to spare anymore. I should be here. So welcome to this morning's Facebook Live. We're busy playing with the Under the Umbrella bundle, so the bundle of the lovely stamp set that's just here, and the punch that goes with it, that's just here. And we've created, so far we've got 4 little cards in the bundle. So we've got the little 2 that we cased from the catalogue on Monday, and then the 2 that we created yesterday. So this little peep card here, and this one with the rainbow of umbrellas. So lots of things we've already done. So if you've missed any of those and would like to go back and see them, do find them. They're either here on my Facebook page. You should be able to track them down. Failing not that, they all get uploaded to my YouTube channel on a daily basis. So they are all there. Also on my YouTube channel, actually, yesterday I did do a quick video using this kit. So showing off this kit, and I will post links to that. The 3 Cheers for You kit, card kit. I will post some links for that later, but I did do that yesterday afternoon. That's also on my YouTube channel. So today we're going to play a little bit more with the Under My Umbrella. So if you're coming on live, do come in and say hello. Do let me know what you're up to, where you're coming in from, how things are going for you. It's nice to keep up. We like to keep in touch. And I'm also busy preparing. Hi Charlotte, which is why I suddenly went off on a tangent and suddenly didn't realise the time. I've got a class this afternoon, so that you're not too late to join in for our class this afternoon, because it is a tutorial only class, and you're going to need to bring your own trimmers and your own scraps of paper and things. But we're doing a strips and scraps class this afternoon, which was what I was fiddling about with before I came on. But let's go for what we're going to play with today. Now I've got a couple of cards today. One is a card that I had designed and that was going round on my county tour in March, but obviously it only got to a couple of places, and they were not many people at those, because we were already getting quite close to the point where we were going to shut down. And so for one reason or other, people weren't able to make them. So I've got one card here that I thought I might as well share with you, because it's already here designed, and it's using the Stamparatus. And another card we're going to do with a bit of masking. So I've got a couple of cards planned for this morning. So without further ado, let's get playing. Which one to do first? Let's go with the one that was planned for the county tour class. So apologies if you were one of the people that did get to those classes, but if you didn't, if you never get to those classes, or for this occasion didn't get to them, this was one that we were going to do. Hi Karen. Megan, I haven't seen any updates this morning. So Megan's asking if we've had any updates on our Prime Minister. I haven't seen any updates this morning. Other than, I think, another night in intensive care. So certainly not seen any breaking news. If anybody else has, please do shout, but I certainly haven't seen any other news this morning. I must admit, I've not particularly gone hunting, but obviously if there'd have been anything major, it would have popped up. But yeah, worrying time for, whatever your politics, it's a worrying time for him and his family, and also it's a bit unsettling for all of the country, really. It sort of just brings it home that nobody is immune. We've all got to be careful, whoever you are. But yes, as I say, I'm sure if somebody else has heard any updates, they will let us know. But let's have a play. Let's have a play with some welly boots. No matter the weather, we're friends together. So definitely no matter the weather. Let me get my Stamparatus out. The weather actually is very quite nice for this time of the year for us. We're having some beautiful sunshine and things. But the emotional weather is a bit stormy for us all, I think. But I think that's the same wherever we are in the world at the moment. Right, one Stamparatus. Now I need my Stamparatus to be so that I can take out and move this hinge down this way, because I need to come down in this direction with my welly boots. So what I've got here is I've got a Whisper White card base, so a basic card base, half a piece of A4 card folded in half. I've got a pretty peacock mat to sit on there, and I've got a Whisper White mat to sit on the top. So those are already cut, ready to go. And I'm going to put this in my Stamparatus, and as I normally do with these sorts of cards, I'm just going to mark which corner I'm using as my sort of my guide to placement, so that if for any reason it does move or wiggle, I know it needs to go back to that corner, which is our starting point. So let's drag the magnets off the back. Did you hear those click together? What you never want to do is have your fingers in between when they do that. Ask me how I know. I've had a blood blister or two from when that's happened. It is painful. Right, okay, so we're going to anchor down that piece of Whisper White card with our magnets. And then we are going to take our welly boots. Now, before we do all of that, we've got photopolymer stamps here, Helen. So we will need a foam mat underneath all of that. So let's just move those out of the way and pop in our foam mat. As we were, because obviously if we have a rubber stamp, we don't need the extra foam mat underneath there, but if, like this one, it's a photopolymer one, you do. So I'm going to line that up about there. Bring down my plastic plate. Morning Lisa, morning Karen. So we're having a play with welly boots and Stamparatuses, or a Stamparatus this morning. So I'm going to colour these in with blends. So I'm going to ink them up with my Memento ink. Always a good tip is to have your stamp case underneath your plate, just because it gives you a nice flat surface to ink up on. So let's bring that over and let's stamp that. Fabulous. We're going to take that out. We're going to take it down. Yes, it is only one notch. Now these do look as if they might overlap, so it is like a little bit of a deep breath, but they really don't, not quite. They're very close, but they don't overlap. So perfect. Three. 4. 5. Okay, let's clean up that welly. My tatty old tea towel that I don't use for anything else. It doesn't go from here into the kitchen and used to wash, dry up cups and things. It is literally one that lives in the craft room. So let's take that out now, and that is ready to colour in. So the wellies are just fabulous. Hi Valerie. Hi Chrissy. The wellies are fabulous for this Stamparatus technique because you can see the spacing on them is just brilliant. It's I don't know whether that was by design or whether that was purely chance. So we're going to have the pretty peacock, there's dark mango melody, there's light mango melody, and the other one we want is Poppy Parade. There's the light one, and it's looking hopeful. There's the dark one. So those are the three colours that I've used to colour in those stamps. Let's pop that down there out the way for a minute. So let's do that. So we've got Poppy Parade top and bottom, Mango Melody next two down, and then we've got the Pretty Peacock in the middle. So this is the dark Poppy Parade. I'm going to do the top of those wellies. Oh, Megan. Yeah, I have got them all, I'm afraid. Though some of them are running out now. I need to replace a few. I do use them quite a lot. I do love them. And obviously they come out on classes and things with me, so they get a lot of use. Right. Let's come in with our light Poppy Parade. And as always, we're wanting to blend those colours together. So we do need to work them together where they meet. And the solvent, the alcohol in the pen. We'll blend those colours together. And then you lose those harsh lines. They sort of blend out to a fading rather than a harsh line. There we are. So red welly number 1. I love seeing little children in red wellies. There's something about red wellies and children, isn't there? Yes, that's just me. I know mine all had little red wellies at one point when they were little. And the other good thing about wellies is, of course, that they last forever. So I think the red wellies that we had were hand-me-downs from somebody else. I think they just kept passing their way around, indestructible. Great for splashing in puddles. Children often love wellies so much as well, don't they? Because before they get to the stage that they can do buckles or Velcro or anything like that, they can put their wellies on. And it really doesn't matter if they're on the wrong feet. It doesn't make too much difference. You absolutely case away, Chrissy. That's absolutely fine. Right, So now we've got some Mango Melody, so let's do the same. We'll do the shading around the edges with the darker one. And we'll go in with the lighter one. There we go, and then this bottom welly. Cut that in. I have to say that one of the people that did manage to make this welly card at one of my classes, she's only 16, lovely crafter, and she patterned all these wellies. I did put a picture of it up on my page actually when I came home, and she'd done different patterns for each welly and they were just fabulous. She got stripes and spots, all sorts of things going on. I did tell her she got a career in designing wellies. I think they just were really lovely. So yeah, do go and check out that welly picture that the lovely Erin did. So obviously you can have what colour wellies you like, but yeah, don't be frightened to get, you know, go really mad. And as I say, she got stripes. I think she might have stars on there. I can't remember what else she did. She certainly got spots and stripes and all sorts of things going on. She spent ages. And you do get quite a lot of the pictures of sort of family welly pictures are quite popular at the moment. So although there's only the one size in welly, you could do a pair of wellies to represent everybody in the family. Right, so let's bring out our greeting that says, no matter the weather, we're friends forever. And we want our pretty peacock ink pad. And we will stamp that greeting on there. Oh, it didn't pick up. That coming down here, out in the centre. I'm going to bring out, I want a little piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. I haven't got a want. Ooh, that might be big enough. And I also want a piece of Mango Melody cardstock. And we're actually going to stamp this umbrella, and we're going to stamp that in black. So rather than colouring in our umbrellas, we're actually stamping it direct onto some coloured cardstock. Now remembering that with our umbrella we're sort of going to be pushing it in that way, so ideally you want it on the bottom of a piece of cardstock if it fits. Just like that. In fact, I moved that and wobbled it. Let's turn it round. I was trying to bring it into view on the camera and I wobbled it slightly. That's better. And then we've got this little piece of Poppy Parade here. Let's stamp that. And then obviously we're going to take our punch. And punch out an umbrella. So one Poppy Parade, one Mango Melody umbrella. So then I'm going to need a little bit of Whisper White cardstock. Let me just trim a bit off of there. Just going to trim a slither of white, and then I'm going to feed that in there. Stamp one. Let's swing it round and punch another umbrella handle. And we'll get our little stamp and our pretty peacock ink again. And we'll just line that up on there and handle. And two handles. So let's bring in our piece of card, and we'll want glue and some dimensionals. And my slips, because we've got some edge pieces again that we're using up. Oh, where did that one go? There it is. Okay, so let's start. Hi Div, Mango Melody one. And we'll stick that there like that. And then our Poppy Parade one we'll put at the top here. And then we'll get our little handles. Guess which Tombow I've picked up. Still haven't sorted that out. Let me pop it in the back there so that I'm not automatically picking it up, and hopefully remember to sort it out later. So just some little spots of glue on the back of there, and I'm just going to tuck these handles in. One there. And we'll have one coming down there. Now, the other thing we've got on this card is this sort of rain effect in the background. So in order to create that, let me just move some things out of the way so that we don't create rain on everything. I've just taken my dark Pretty Peacock blend, and I have just flicked on the lid to make some rain, just like that. And then the finishing touch was just a couple of little rhinestones to give another sort of effect of shiny sparkly raindrops. So there we go. All we need to do now, just thrown my handle stamp on the floor, that's not good. All we need to do now is, look at that, you can tell that when you turn it over, look, you can see where those have, there's nice saturation on those wellies from the pen, and you can see the spots starting to come through as well. But that's okay, because that's all on the back of the card. We're not going to see that once it's all put together. So there we go. So whether you never come to my classes or you normally come to my county tour and didn't get in March because they were all called off, that's one of the cards we would have been making. Morning, Claire. So spotty rain. So you could have done the spots before you put the umbrellas and things on if you didn't want the spots on your umbrellas, if you wanted them to be spot free. But just yet, rain in the background. So there's another nice simple little technique how you can splatter with your stamping blends. Just going to tuck those down there for now, and I'll put them away properly in a minute. So let's pop that to one side. So that's one card, using our Stamparatus to do that sort of step technique. For the other card, I thought we would have it here somewhere. I've got a little note card. I don't use little note cards ever so often, but they are really handy. So these are one of our Stampin' Up. As you can see, I've got now splatters now on my mat, but they're not going to wipe off very easy with my The thing is, if they're not coming off very easy, they're not going to come off on a project, so I'm not going to worry too much about it at the moment. Right, okay, so yes, I don't use our note cards very often, but they are a lovely little size. So they are 5 inches by 3.5 inches. So what I've got is a note card there, and I've also cut a piece of shimmery white, and I've made that so it's 4.5 by 3, because then I've got room to put a mat of coloured card behind it. And I thought with this one we would take our big umbrella again, it's damp now, it doesn't want to pick up. Actually, let's have the long one. It's probably a better size. And I'm actually going to stamp these in stays on this time, because I'm going to do some watercolouring. So obviously we want an ink that's going to stays on. So let's have one umbrella there, and then I'm going to bring in my pad of post-it notes. I'm not going to worry about re-inking it, because I'm not worried about it being a fabulous image. I just need to be able to see to cut it out. So I've stamped that onto the top sticky end of a post-it note. I'm going to cut that out. So we cut out a mask. We did some masking on, when did we do that? Monday, where we used the inside. So I've got the piece where I've cut the inside, but obviously we had to cut through the actual umbrella image on Monday, because we needed the the hole that it left. This time we actually want the umbrella. Put that to one side. So I'm going to cover up that umbrella, and I'm actually going to bring in my handle. And I'm going to stamp my handle where I want that to go. And we'll have another one coming down here. Not worried about the handles crossing. I might wait actually and stamp my umbrella. I think I'm going to stamp my umbrella first, and then I'm going to come in and stamp my handles. So we'll have that one there. We'll have this one coming down here. We'll have another one coming across here. And have this one coming there. Morning, Angie. Ooh, crocheting a blanket, lovely. Do you know, crochet is one of those things that I would really like to get my head around, and I haven't. I've knitted for years, but not so much crochet. I have had a go. It's not that I've never done it. Yeah, I think I have that one coming there. Right, I can put the handle for that one in there. The handle for that one coming down there. This is where I might need a second mask. We'll see. And have the handle for that one coming down there, and then we just need the handle for this one. And we'll have that. Can we squeeze that in there without it overlapping? I think so. Excellent. So we've got like a whole little muddle of umbrellas there. Let's cover that up for a minute. Let me put that mask in the box. So now I've got a inner mask and an outer mask. And then, oh, what colours shall we have? Oh, actually, what I might do, let's bring out the in colours. So these are our in colours that are about to retire. They'd be nice and bright, wouldn't they? So let's move our stencils out of the way. And let's get an aqua painter. So this is on shimmery white cardstock. I've already got some ink there. Hi Jane. I'm going to move this out of the way. Let's just add a spot of water. And which one shall we do? Red. Let's go with this one in the centre. We'll have as a lovely lipstick umbrella. And obviously once we add some colour to them, that will then sort of separate them out a little bit. So just a fun jumble of umbrellas. Add in a bit more colour, a bit more pigment where it would be a bit shady around the edges. Right, so there's a red one. What do we got on there? A bit of fluff of some sort. And just trying to get some of that ink to come onto the lid. If it doesn't want to move, I'll get a pad out, but what we will do in that case, we will just tap onto that ink block and use that as our palette. Could have got my ink refills out and used those to paint with, but so this is the Pineapple Parade one. No, Pineapple Parade, Pineapple Punch. The pineapples aren't parading, they're punching. So again, we'll add in a bit more colour. Let's give that block a bit of a clean. So having done the yellow at the top, I think we'll go orange down the bottom. I'm sort of doing the ones that aren't next to each other, so I'm sort of painting that one, then that one, then that one, in the hope that we won't get the colours blending. They'll have dried enough in between not to get the colours blending. A bit of fluff, come here. So obviously using them from the ink pad like this, it does tone down the colours a little bit. If you'd have wanted stronger colours, you could have either used the ink refills, which would have given me a stronger colour, or of course we could have used something like pigment sprinkles, which would have been a stronger colour still. So there's some Grapefruit Grove on the bottom there. Let's have a bit of Call Me Clover. Which one shall we have? Call Me Clover. Let's do this one. A little bit of painting. Can't beat a little bit of painting, can you? So this is the shimmery white cardstock. It's not watercolour card, but it is shimmery white, so it will hold up to quite a bit of water. And the other added benefit is you do get the shimmer with it, obviously. And then, last but by no means least, let's have a Blueberry Bushel umbrella. Oh, let's just throw our blueberry bushel on the floor. Bring that down here. And if you do want to add in a bit more sort of shading and dimensionals, you can go back in. Well, this is quite easy, Jane. It's only a wet paintbrush. I haven't had to do any of the drawing. That's the hard bit. I'm only colouring in the lines. So we could do with a little bit of sky going on, but obviously I want to use a different blue. Actually, I might not go blue at all. I might do something like some grey granite. Let's make it look like a bit like a stormy sky. So I'm going to add quite a bit of water there because I don't want it to be too dark. But we just want a bit of something going on. Around the umbrellas. The same, we could make it look so we don't have to worry about going over the top of the handles, because we did them, stamped them in stays on, so they're not going to go anywhere. So it's just a touch of colour to give it that sort of stormy sky, stormy weather. I don't know how well you're going to pick that up really, but that's sort of just watercolour wash in the background. Now we have got our raindrop stamp that we could add some raindrops in with. But actually, I'm quite tempted. Let's just squeeze some water in here and make this very runny. And then we'll just add a few raindrops. Raindrops on roses and whispers on kittens. Just by doing a bit of flicking. I'm going to go back in with something else in a minute, but first of all we need to back that. Now, do I go colour or do I go black? That's the question. I think black's going to make it pop, isn't it? Let's go black. So I'm going to need to cut this so that it is 3¼ inches wide by 4¾ inches long. Yeah, I think it definitely needs to be black, doesn't it, to make that pop. Also, where we've added the water as it's drying, you're going to get sort of bleaching on the umbrellas, which is quite fun. So a bit of faux bleaching going on there. And it will make it look like raindrops on the umbrellas. So let's stick that down there. And I'm going to stick that. Do I want anything? No, I think I'm going to just stick that on. Now we are going to want a greeting of some sort. Let's have the one that says showered with love. I am thinking actually I'm going to stamp that, I think, direct on. So wish me luck. If it doesn't work, that it will then go up onto some sort of a banner, but if I can get away with it, I'm just going to stamp directly to the card front. Should have done that earlier. Good press, and fingers crossed that's not bad. It's just a tiny little bit that didn't quite go just there. So we'll just go in with our pen and fill that in. Now I am wondering if anywhere I have got any of the heart we had the little heart-shaped epoxy drops, which would be fabulous on there if I have any left, or if I can find them. Rummaging through my box of, I have got some epoxy drops, but those ones were retired ones, but we did have the little heart-shaped ones, which would be perfect with the showered with love sentiment, but I can't see any. Nope. Never mind, it's a good thought. So if we'd have got little epoxy hearts, they would have been perfect on there with the showered with love sentiment, but we haven't. So what we will do is we dig out, I should no doubt find them later, they'll be staring me in the face. Can't see them, but what we will do is we'll take our shimmery crystal effects and we'll just put some little spots with that on, and that obviously will dry. So it is crystal effect, so it dries sort of clear, but this has also got a bit of glitter in it, so not only do you get your little, let's give that another shake. Not only do you get your little dots, oh that's a big one, you also get a bit of glitter in there as well. Obviously I'm going to need to stand that to one side to allow that to dry, and as they dry they will go hard, they will go shimmery, and that will just give another dimension to that card. So don't lean on it. I bet you've all done this, done that and then leant on it, done it and dropped it on the floor face first, done all of those. But there's our 2 cards for today. We've got the stacked up wellies with the splatter rain in the background, and we've stamped and punched the umbrellas from coloured card rather than coloured them in. So they're stacked wellies, and then we've got our watercoloured wellies that we've masked and built up, done some rain splatters in the background, and we've also done some crystal effect splatters in the background. So a couple of different cards with a rainy day feel on a sunshiny day. And my little makeup curtain that I've put up seems to have worked, and we haven't had the sun, the shadows shining across the table today. So my makeshift curtain isn't looking pretty, but it does seem to have been effective. So thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a nice evening. If you're at evening time, I hope you have a good day. If it's morning, and I've just realised, Angie, it just shows how dim I am, isn't it? You were being out of bed for an hour, so you've actually managed to get out of bed today to do some crocheting. That's really lovely. I'm thinking, because we're 9 o'clock here in the morning, that you've just got up, but of course you haven't. You've been a bit bedridden over the last few days. So the fact that you've got out of bed to do some crocheting is absolutely fabulous. So I'm really pleased to hear that. It takes me a little while. I'm a bit slow sometimes, but that's really good news. So really pleased that you're out. You're very welcome, Megan. It is my pleasure to come on and share with you. You're my bit of company during the day. As I say, I have got my first sort of Zoom online class this afternoon. It is just a £5 class. Because I'm not sending out any supplies. So if anybody is around 1:30 UK time this afternoon and would like to join us for our £5 class, you bring the scraps of paper and card and your trimmer and those sorts of things. I'm just going to bring together lots of inspiration of things that you can do with them. So it is the strips and scraps, paper strips and scraps class at 1:30 this afternoon, and you're not too late to sign up, because all I need to send you is the link to join us on Zoom. So if you'd like to do that, oh fab, that's really good news, Angie. If you'd like to do that, then do join us, and I will see you all in the morning. Otherwise,